We'll go that side.
So read your book and land the airplane. The FAA wants to talk to you. Well, they're gonna be unhappy with you. No, not me. Yeah, okay. Now listen, it's not FFA, it's FAA, Federal Aviation Administration. Look on page 4. The stick comes out of the floorboards. You pull up, the houses get smaller. You push forward, the houses get bigger. Does that help?
It helped, but I didn't see no houses. Just a whole bunch of people.
Well, what was that came out of your airplane? So now you have no book? Okay, well, I'll give you the help. First of all, I want you to get lined up with that big hunk of pavement. Push forward gently on the stick. Gently, not too much. Okay, now, go easy. Now, push it on that left pedal. Line up there. No, good. Now, just go ahead and land it. Hold back on the throttle.
I shouldn't have had seconds.
I think you just lost a wheel.
I got a wheel problem.
Well, yeah, you do. All right, now, if you got this airplane out of Folsom Prison, one piece at a time.
Video.
Injured, and to hear those big props and see that gunfire gave them hope.
Okay, everyone, coming out.
The A-37 flown by the South Vietnamese Air Force in support of American and South Vietnamese forces. OR-11 in the Huey continues to come across the battlefield and ensure that somebody's got eyes on the pilot so they do not inadvertently drop bombs on them. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll notice the close coordination that must take place between all of the aircraft in the area as you have multiple aircraft at any one moment right over the pilot. Note also the Caribou, the C-7 high overhead that maintains surveillance on the battlefield as we attempt to pull out Kingpin 1-1. Just to the right of show center, look out at the Huey, where Kingpin and a white helmet's just been pulled on board by the
The UH-1, built by Bell Aircraft, designated utility helicopter, became known as the Huey, but it was in fact a triple threat in terms of its missions, with gunship mission as a slick, and also doing combat troop insertion and retrieval as a slick, and then as a gunship, and also the mission we're seeing here, the dust-off.
Ladies and gentlemen, you'll notice coming up one of the most iconic images from the Vietnam War. The use of napalm was highly effective in getting enemy heads down. As Warlord lifts off, he's at his most vulnerable, and note the aircraft now turning in.
He's going to taunt that truck. As we watch Kemp demonstrate the capabilities of the Interstate Cadet with a roundhouse barnstormer's loop topping off at only about 300 feet above the ground. To get to the top, now watch him come over the top, this time down 45 degrees. He'll roll the airplane into the upright position with a 1/2 Cuban 8. Let's see if he does the same thing in mirror image. If he does, it's the maneuver that was invented quite by accident back in 1936 at the Miami Air Races when the late Len Povey was too low to complete a loop. So rather than making a smoking hole in the ground, he did what Kent Peets did and drew that figure 8 lying on its side with his air show smoke. Nobody had ever seen that maneuver before. And they asked him at the end of the show what it was, and since he was training the Cuban Air Force pilots to fly aerobatics, he replied with 2 words in Spanish, Ocho Cubano, and the name stuck. Now this Interstate Cadet has
See,
about
now I asked them whether there is color,
and
now
it
it
gets
is.
at a forward speed of somewhere in the neighborhood of 85 miles per hour. And Kent Peets has flown from coast to coast, east to west, from Alaska down into Mexico and Central America in this airplane, and has earned the respect of all of the people in the air show industry. He has won both of the top awards given to performers in the air show business as he does the 4-point go, go, go in just a minute. And he's going to line up on that truck that is going about 55 miles an hour. And he's going to try to land on top of it. He's got some winds to deal with, but he's got to work his way in sideways to match the speed and then work his way down to the deck of the truck. Let's see if he can get the, oh, touchdown. Nah, not quite there yet. He's a little behind the, now, up on one wheel. Look at that. That's impressive. He's landing with one wheel. But the idea is to land and then scoot forward and get his landing gear, the wheels, down in a trough at the front of the deck of that Jelly Belly Candy Company truck. And they'll lock the wheels in and it'll be able to land. Let's try to see what's going to happen here as he works his way down this time. To turn it around, wants to be a loop around. Once upon a time I got to ride in that truck. And it's amazing to see an airplane pull up next to you and say hi. Not something you normally see from the passenger seat of any motor vehicle. Let's listen for the call, go, go, go.
Oh man.
Go, 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 60.
Okay, just called go, go, go. 60 miles per hour. 60 miles per hour. Now, once he gets both wheels successfully down on the deck, you may see the rudder on the top go back and forth, and he'll try to kind of walk his way up. Left and right rudder to work his way forward, kind of stepping up. Yeah, you can see it there. See that tail wag back and forth? He's getting close. I think he's going to be out of runway here in a minute. Let's see. He's still working it. He's got a little bit of wind that's giving him some fits there that's still a little bit challenging. Hey, Ken Beach, this is Rob Ryder. Wind's a little... We'll be watching for you and pulling for you.
Yeah, see how much faster airplanes are than trucks?
I was just telling the people it's strange to see an airplane pull up next to you.
Yep. A little different.
A lot different.
Yep.
He's just called 55 this time. He's getting some burble off the buildings. That's causing him some difficulty. So let's see if he can get it. See if the third time will be the charm. Get your video cameras on this, folks.
Okay.
Matching speed. He'll use his right rudder then to bring him over the landing zone on the back of the truck. See if he can plant it there and slide it forward. Let's see if we hear the call. Lock it down. Lock
her down.
Yeah, he's in. Ladies and gentlemen, he did it. A big round of applause for Ken Beach. I heard it. He'll bring the throttle back to idle. That's the red knob on the left. And that tail wheel will then come down on the deck of the truck once the truck gets down slow enough. And they're going to be very, very careful about the turnaround that they're going to do. Because at this point, it's top heavy. Like really top heavy. Army Air Force.
I was... Right here, guys.
There were 3 different types of heavy bombers flown during World War II by the United States Army Air Force. And I say Army Air Force because the Air Force did not become a separate service until September 18th of 19... today, called Doc. Here's the B-29. In addition to a pressurized and attacked on its own soil, in over 2,000 these B-25s then headed for...
Going that way, guys.
Now we are about to bring the Wings of Blue back in, and it's my pleasure to welcome back to the stage Nate Thompson from Cincinnati, my hometown. We're just talking about the foods and...
And there you have the blue and white canopies of your United States Air Force parachute team, the Wings of Blue. The two jumpers involved in today's barber pole is Master Sergeant George Wild and Cadet First Class Luke Nimmo.
Ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are over by the Blue Angels, you might see the Blue Angels aircraft being moved. They're not canceling the show, they're just moving them into the hangar in anticipation of this shower. So don't panic, we're not, the Blue Angels are not canceling their show.
Direct your attention high overhead for our final maneuver, the Wings of Blue Bombers. In this final maneuver, 4 jumpers will exit the aircraft from an altitude of 11,000 feet above the ground. The jumpers will maneuver their bodies in free fall in order to come together into a 4-man star formation. They will hold this formation until 6,000 feet, at which time they'll break apart, turn, and track away from each other to recreate the spectacular bomb burst effect.
क्या है? कुछ डाला उधर से क्लाउड्स ब्लॉक किया.
हाँ
तो इतना ऊंचे
फोकस नहीं कर पा रहा है.
हाँ.
And an aerial salute to all active duty military and veterans in the crowd today, the Wings of Blue Bombers. As you can notice, all 4 jumpers have deployed their parachutes and are setting up what is known as a canopy step. These jumpers will use the flight controls on their parachutes to perform spirals, turns, and brakes to gain horizontal and vertical separation.